At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking news.
Welcome back, and my guest this time is Dr. Omadele Boyo. Dr. Boyo is a public health expert and a friend of the house. Good morning, Dr. Boyo.
Good morning.
COVID-19, Nigerians seem to be having it real good. That is the common wisdom, because all the hullabaloo that we hear around the world about second wave, you know, more people are dying than before and all of that, we don't seem to have that kind of a problem because we seem to be opening up, and all the, you know, if you look at the figures now, total confirmed 71,000.
344.
Yes, deaths 1,190. All of Nigeria. And actually, we have made some strides in terms of discharging. If we confirm 71 cases right now, we've actually discharged 65,000. Kudos to the doctors and all of those that are in the front line. But do you also agree, Dr. Boyo, that we seem to have relaxed our vigilance and protocols to prevent COVID-19?
Yes, we don't only seem to have relaxed, we have relaxed it because to a large extent the average man, you see, this thing starts from what's in public health called knowledge, attitude and practice. It's knowledge and your attitude that inform your practice. People don't believe that COVID-19 is present anymore. Even with everything the NCDC is saying and doctors are saying, you find that people have not only relaxed, they believe that it was all a scam. And that's very unfortunate.
And you're very safe, doctor. You only took off your mask just as you were about to come on air. You wore your mask right up until the last second before you took it off. So you don't share any of that.
No. So and that's the problem. We need to convince people that this thing is not only real, it's deadly. When the Minister of Health was speaking yesterday, what drew up this idea of the imminent second wave is that in the last week alone, we recorded 1,843 positive cases against 1,256 the previous week. So the rise became 1,126. And they're now wondering, what could this be about? If 2 weeks before, this last week, 1,843, and the week before, 1,253, you know, then they began to see that something is going wrong. In the last 24 hours, the government is saying 474 new cases with 2 deaths. I remember the case of the general.
That is just in the last 24 hours.
Yes. The major general that passed on, that had been attributed to COVID-19. So people are beginning to wonder that the spike is real. It's not just our saying we're trying to be like other countries that are talking about, oh, the imminent second, third wave. No. We are simply saying that statistics show. And remember, we're not testing as much as we should. We still have a problem with testing. So we have 3 things we are looking at now. In a place like Lagos, the inflow of air travels and people coming into the country, and the rumors of fake COVID-19 results that people want to present. And people are coming in. After coming in, they're asked to go back and check themselves after 7 days or 14 days. They're not doing so. So the source of this new wave includes the coming in, the foreign visitors coming into the country, maybe positive or not, we don't know. 2, the NSAS riots and subsequent riots in different parts of the country, because it went beyond NSAS. Other people in different parts of the country began to riot, prison breaks, and things like that. Those things are there in one corner. Then we have the fact that weddings and birthdays are beginning
have resumed the way they used to be. Churches are in full force.
With night vigils, and the numbers have increased. And then Christmas is coming. Christmas is coming. People are going to travel, and they're going to mix up. They're going to have Christmas carol services. They're going to go from house to house sharing food. It's like Salah, you know. So in the last Salah, it was low key. There was lockdown at Salah. Now Christmas is coming, another big festivity. And you remember when it gets to New Year, both Christians and Muslims celebrate New Year all over the country. So we're going to have, it's imminent, except to do something about what we are saying.
So as a professional, Dr. Boyo, it seems to me that what you're saying as a professional doctor who is involved in public health, that people are not taking it as seriously as it should be. seems to be what you are indicating.
We've not been able to convince people because
so people don't believe.
There's a trust deficit between the people and government. People already believe that government, under normal conditions, look at what we're talking about, Maina collapsing. People believe that government doesn't really tell them the truth. So, and then they never saw deaths as they see in America. You know, are people...
Why is that? Yeah. Do we have a different strain?
I think we
are there strains, first of all? Are there strains to COVID-19?
There are strains. Even all viruses have strains. Okay. And then, don't forget, we also have issues with being able to know exactly how people are dying because we have poor record keeping, and most parts of this country we don't record deaths. It's only in Lagos and some metropolitan areas that deaths are taken seriously. People are buried within 24 hours after they die, and then we don't do post-mortem. We never ask ourselves what killed people. It's always the common thing after a brief illness or after a protracted illness. People don't really come out to say what killed people. And so we find that the deaths we've recorded in recent times have not been... You see, if 1,000 people die in Lagos today, we all know, because we are scared of death. So I will say that the number of deaths and the number of real COVID-19 cases in Nigeria have not risen so dramatically as in Europe and America. And people have attributed that to the weather, which I don't think so, because some parts of America is hot, like in Florida, Texas, and places like that, you know. But then people are attributing it to the fact that maybe malaria, that is so common and endemic here. People are saying that in America, there are many Nigerians in America who had carried their malaria history to America and got COVID-19. Then others say, could it be the strain, like what you said? So we have not really been able to put our finger on, but we think we are playing with the mercy of God. Yeah. If it had been so, if God had been so gracious as to allow us go through this thing with minimal deaths compared to other countries, we need to be more serious. Because now, if between the last 2 weeks we have seen spikes and Christmas is coming, travels will be more intense, and if you notice,
gatherings will be much more intense.
Apart from the airlines, most people are not looking at, most of the buses are not carrying full capacity. And people are not wearing masks.
Exactly.
So, you know, at the end of the day, they're only warning us, we say imminent, in the sense that if the trend goes up, it will get worse. And then schools are about to reopen, universities. Yes. That's why it's called off the strike. People are going to go back to universities.
But on the other hand, Doctor, it's like we can't, as a country like ours, Nigeria, it can't afford to be locked down for too long is another thing that I've heard. That because look, government can do all that it can, but it's horribly inadequate, you know, in terms of palliatives and all of that. So it looks almost like government itself has given up, because if government were to insist on it, oh yeah, now take care of me now, which government is saying I cannot do.
You're fortunately for this virus, it's a very kind virus. You must invite it. It doesn't visit you like a hurricane and we hear of tsunami. This virus takes permission from you. You must say come in before it comes. It knocks on your door, and you have to invite it. Is that not?
You invite it with your carelessness.
With your carelessness. Now, lockdown is extreme. If you can just say for the next 100 days till Christmas, everybody should mask up. Everybody should wash their hands. People should keep social distance, physical distancing, and people should endeavor to avoid large crowds.
Yes.
The thing will come down.
Look, I remember the little detail. Biden, you know how Thanksgiving is important to Americans. It's even a national holiday. He was being advised that, Mr. President-elect, try not to be in a group of more than 8 people for your Thanksgiving celebration.
Look at the Democratic Convention. And look at how he held his rallies. People came in their cars. They stayed in their cars. And when he had things to do with people coming in, they sat down with distancing. Now we need to just lock down. It's extreme. It can affect the economy.
Yes,
it can cause domestic violence. People will stay at home and fight. And then can affect abuse of all kinds. But before lockdown, just say mask mandate for 30 days across the whole country.
I believe that in Lagos, at least, I don't know if they're going to affect it, but apparently you can actually be queried. You know, I think
there is a legislative. They say
it's been gazetted.
It has been gazetted.
You know that it's an offense now not to wear a mask.
But I mean, and don't forget, after NSAS, the police became weakened. We don't have police stations anymore. yes, they've been burnt down in most parts of Lagos. Yeah. And policemen have withdrawn from checkpoints because they've been, as it were, traumatized, and felt a sense of rejection.
But they're coming back now.
They're coming back very softly, and wisely, because at the end of the day, we will just have last man on the roads and yellow fever, we call them, traffic wardens. So the policemen are not very, very much on the road. So to arrest people after the NSAS has become very difficult in places like Lagos, where it was a theater of the NSAS, because people are fighting with the police, as it were.
And in the midst of all of this, as you well know, Doctor, in the US and the UK, the UK has claimed the prize of the very first vaccination against COVID-19. And this was after the best medical knowledge told us in the recent past, that getting a vaccine is at least 18 to 24 months affair. But apparently, all global medical knowledge came together on this, and here we have this virus, which not everybody trusts it. In fact, there are all sorts of conspiracy theories all over the place about it, as you know. There's a whole lobby about do not
take the vaccine.
Accept that virus. Let me hear from Reverend Dominic. Good morning, Reverend.
Good morning, Yori. How are you today?
Very well, thank you.
Good morning, Dr. Boyo. How are you?
I'm fine.
Doctor, both the carelessness of managing this disease is on both sides, both the side of government and the side of the people. By today, a nation of 200 million people. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
About 200 million people are not tested up to 1 million people. You're just saying. This disease has some, let's say, how do I put it now? But the area you can, I also. Today, what government people is and cannot do things and focus
Dominic, the line has gone very bad.
Everybody, you can capture the number of the disease. But it's not messy. We don't have first expression here. We are sitting with the first one, which do not manage very well. How about it? They will not test out 1 million people.
I'm afraid, Dominic, I'm so sorry. The line has gone so bad, I'm going to have to discontinue the connection. Maybe if you could try and get in again. I'm so sorry about this.
What he was talking about was the inability to test a large number of people.
Yes.
And I have not even reached 4 million tests. And that's true.
So,
because of the
we have this false hope that we are blessed of God, which we are.
But if you're not testing, you can't get positives. Positive on the number of people you are testing. And we're not testing, that's what I was trying to say, we're not testing adequately. And there are about 83 labs in Nigeria now for testing, but it's 50,400 naira to get tested. Before, at the peak of the pandemic, it was being done free by NAMA and Nigerian Medical
Now
Research.
It costs 50,000 to test yourself.
50,400
50,400.
Yes, to get a test done.
Now you see the problem.
You see, you can see that we're not talking about rural areas yet. We cannot afford even buying paracetamol or buying anti-malarials. We're not talking about just testing. So testing, tracing, and treating. Now we can't test and then we can't trace, because it's the testing that will lead you to tracing. If somebody is not tested positive, you can't even trace. Now when somebody like the Army conference that took place and the general that died, ideally all those that attended the conference have become possible carriers or possible positives. But to be able to trace them and isolate them and test them will be an issue. So what we're having now is the government has not been able to adequately test, adequately trace, and the people have not been convinced by government that this disease is so serious that they must all mask up, maintain social distancing, wash their hands, and avoid large crowds.
People have. Ada in Jos, good morning, ma'am.
Hello.
Thank you for calling.
Hello.
Good morning.
Hello, good morning. Ada from Jos. Good morning, doctor.
Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning.
We can hear you.
My question is this. Now, why is it that some people, festivities are allowed to hold? What criteria is being used? I couldn't believe it. When this night first thing, the Plateau has a high prevalence of COVID-19. And then even Plateau is number 3. Then I kept on wondering, what was the criteria used to allow it to hold and then not the subject of those, it's highly politicized. So that is what is making most people now feel that the thing is, I don't know, it's just a kind of joke. Then the rallies we had in all the elections, they were not, observing the COVID-19 protocols. No, so those things is also mitigated against it. Now, I heard you talking about the police. They are coming back on the road. So, Mr. William, you know that the police are coming back on the road. But what they did, the police on Radio Nigeria, some people called in and said the police have come back on the road and they are costing money. And I told them, what is your problem? We've been begging them to come back on the road. Now, some of them have not been paid for 6 months, the constables, according to them. And then, what do you want them to do? Let's get all these things fixed first, you know. Let the government take care of our police. We can't, even though they have signed that they are going to perform their duties, is it that they're hungry? You know, I don't know this country. I don't know how we are running it. It's just like it's just a joke. You know, I don't know.
Oh dear.
Only God will save us in this country. For me, after my household, all of us will take responsibility. We wear the mask, whether it's true or not, or whether the government is doing anything or not. Let's take responsibility. Don't let Nigeria. Let's not give up on this country.
Thank you, Ada, for calling in. She has taken personal responsibility.
Yes.
She said, as far as she's concerned, and her household, in my household, these are the rules. But most people have relaxed. Yeah, you go to the shopping center, it's worrying how life has returned to normal. Yeah. Restaurants are over full. Yeah. You go into a restaurant, and I'm speaking about something that I did to just check it out and see if anything was doable, and you won't believe that it was so full, they asked me to wait for them to find me a place. Yes. So that goes to show you, of course, you know, I did my bit, I just moved on. But these are indicators of, in some places, life haven't returned to normal. And doctor, you people talk about what is that one that people don't even know that they're affected?
Okay, carriers, who that are positive with asymptomatic
carriers so, yeah, who nevertheless are able to transmit it, yeah, even though they themselves don't feel any symptoms. Now, if an asymptomatic carrier does not test for whatever reason, yeah, maybe he doesn't have the 50,400, yeah, or whatever the reason, he's just a walking time bomb going all over the place, and I don't know. So, doctor, I think carelessness is major, because if government can't do all that you would expect it to do, at least you can do some things for yourself.
Yeah, and that's also true, because at the end of the day, the rallies, pre-election rallies that took place in Ekiti, Edo, and several other states, you could even see that the governors had people around them. The governor may wear a mask, but you see people around the governor that are not wearing masks. So the campaigns were intense, and people were moving from street to street. And so when people see the way those in authority behave, it's like family life. If the father and the mother of the home are not behaving well, yeah, the children will follow the bad example. Yeah. So you find that if you look at what happens in international media, you will see that when the president-elect is addressing the people, they will clean the podium, and you go, someone else will come, they will clean the podium again, they all wear masks. We have all to trying to show example. Yes, we have to insist on the mask mandate from the top, let people know that it's real, and they all wear masks. But when you go down to the airport, people are not wearing masks. People come in and receive orders at the airport and not wear masks. So at the end of the day, we insist that people can travel, people can go everywhere. So we should look at it. Christmas is coming. Yes. The New Year festivities are by the corner. And now we're just like, today is we're almost like 3 weeks to Christmas and New Year. If we can insist on masking up between now and New Year, insist on social distancing, it can help. It can help.
David in the UK, good morning, sir.
Good morning. My name is David, like I said. I think we Nigerians will forget that everybody is the government. The problem going on in America and why everybody, all of them, most of them are dying is because they are waiting the doctor was saying.
David, so sorry about that. The line wasn't very good. The internet connection from the US wasn't all it could be. From the UK wasn't all that it could be.
The Minister of Health said yesterday that we're expecting 20 million vaccines in the first quarter of 2021. So the country
first quarter of 2021. We
January,
ourselves in Nigeria
were spending 20
with
million.
that minus 11 degrees storage thing.
Well, the vaccines are coming. It's not the business of those bringing vaccines now. We have, maybe they are put in place, not 11 degrees, minus 70 if it's Pfizer.
Oh, if it is Pfizer, minus 70
degrees.
if it is Pfizer.
Yeah.
So we have these storage facilities since they are coming?
They didn't talk about that. They only told us that 20 million vaccines are coming. But we know that it's a chain. There's a cold chain that you have to follow from the airport to the place to be stored to the individual that carry the bags to go and give you the vaccinations in various hospitals. And they said the health workers will be the first to get them.
Yes.
And then people that are having pre-existing conditions, elderly and vulnerable groups before we get to people. So 20 million for 206 million, and the latest says we are 206 million. 20 million vaccines could be good if we look at the number of people that are affected. But how are we going to ensure the integrity of the vaccines from the time it arrives in Nigeria to the time it gets to Sokoto or gets to Patani, that is still having the same, is still standing at minus 70 or minus 11
exactly,
without lights, without portable storage facilities that we can carry from place to place. So from the time the vaccines get here till it gets to the arm of somebody, it passes through chains of about 12 different chains. And these chains have to be completely maintained at a net temperature that will keep the vaccines
And on top
potent.
of all of that you say, Doctor, it still remains to be seen how many Nigerians are actually going to accept the virus, because as you know...
Accept the vaccine.
I'm sorry, accept the vaccine. Nobody wants to accept the virus. Accept the vaccine, because there are all these theories going on that no, they don't want the vaccine, and that is as a result of, no doubt, poor knowledge. Poor knowledge
and conspiracy theories.
And conspiracy theories.
Because at the end of the day, if you see people die, I lost 2 cousins. If you see people die from COVID-19, like we just heard now from the general that died after attending the Chief of Army Staff meetings, and you see people die, your relatives die, and begin to see, you will find that we say it over and over again, masking, washing of hands, avoiding large crowds are vaccines in themselves. They are vaccines in themselves, because this thing is so respectful. It will ask you, can I come in?
So to speak. It's like you're reminding us all of those very basic elementary things. Mask up, wash your hands,
keep a physical distance,
of 6 feet from
and then avoid large crowds.
Unnecessary gatherings. But people are so confident now. For dropping a hat, they will put together an event and say, let's meet and let's be together. And then they put chairs, they put tables.
Maybe we can say this, since we're on national television. If you know you are above 60, you know you have sickle cell, you have asthma, you have diabetes, you have hypertension, you have any disease whatsoever, even a simple malaria, avoid going to anywhere where there are more than 5 persons.
There you go.
And don't go there. Don't go there. So if other people are inviting you for a wedding, you are running temperature, even if it's ordinary malaria, and you have high blood pressure, you have cardiac disease, you have kidney disease, or you have simple things like temperature, just avoid gatherings and mask up, wash your hands, and keep away from people.
Thank you very much, Doctor. I couldn't have, said as a professional, unnecessary gatherings are not recommended.
Even necessary gatherings.
If you have, pare it down.
Yeah, pare it down, yes. And if you have a pre-existing condition, don't bother to go. Send your money, buy the Ashoke or the Ashoebi.
Don't show up.
Don't show up.
Okay.
And tell them that due to circumstances beyond your control, you will not be able to be there.
Well, you heard it from a doctor. That's one way to go. But thank you very much, Dr. Madiligo, public health expert. As always, wisdom for our own good. Okay, so that's our program today. Join us on Monday for a fresh edition. I am Yori Folani. Bye-bye for now.
At TVC News, wherever the big news story is happening, we're geared up to break it. TVC News, first with breaking.